Welcome to Burns Hustles, where we turn side hustles into cash. Are you considering becoming an Airbnb host? Have you considered the legal implications? It's not just about opening your home to guests from around the world. It's also about understanding the legal landscape that surrounds this decision. Every locale has its own set of rules and regulations, and it's essential to know what they are before you list your property. For instance, some cities may have restrictions on short-term rentals, while others may require specific permits. If you're renting a property, you'll need to delve into your lease or homeowners association rules to ensure that subletting on Airbnb is permitted. These legal considerations aren't just bureaucratic red tape. They're the foundation of your hosting duties, protecting you, your property, and your guests. By understanding the legalities, you're not just complying with the law. You're also creating a safe and welcoming environment for your guests. Remember, understanding these legal aspects is vital to ensure you are not breaching any laws or regulations. First and foremost, one must check their local laws and regulations regarding short-term rentals. Indeed, it's a vital step that should not be overlooked. You see, some towns or cities might have certain restrictions on these kinds of rentals. Others may even require specific permits. For instance, in some places, you might find that there's a cap on the number of days in a year that you can rent out your property. In others, you may need to register or obtain a license before you start hosting. It's a mixed bag, really, and that's why it's crucial to do your homework. A good start would be to visit your local government's official website or directly contact the relevant authorities. Remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So ensure you're well informed to avoid any unpleasant surprises down the line. Always keep in mind your local laws and regulations are your first point of reference. If you're renting a property, it's essential to review your lease or homeowners association rules. This is a point that cannot be stressed enough. You see, some leases or HOA rules may explicitly forbid subletting, which effectively means you cannot host on Airbnb. This is because your landlord or HOA might want to have control over who stays in the property or community to maintain specific standards, or for various other reasons. Breaching these rules can lead to unpleasant consequences ranging from fines to eviction. It's not something you want to overlook, especially considering the potential legal and financial implications. That's why it's crucial to read these documents carefully. If you're unsure, consider seeking legal advice. The key here is to be fully aware of the terms you've agreed to and act accordingly. Before posting your listing on Airbnb, ensure that you have the right to sublet your property. Apart from your local laws and lease terms, you also need to be aware of Airbnb's policies and guidelines. Now, these aren't just arbitrary rules. They're designed to foster trust, safety, and respect within the Airbnb community. Airbnb's guidelines cover a broad spectrum, from the expected standards of hospitality to the specifics of listing accuracy. For instance, hosts are expected to provide clean and safe accommodations, respond promptly to guests' queries, and to accurately represent their listings. Misrepresenting your space, canceling on a guest last minute, or violating any other hosting standards could lead to penalties, including being removed from the platform. It's also crucial to understand that Airbnb has a non-discrimination policy. Hosts cannot decline or disrupt a guest's stay based on their race, religion, national origin, ethnicity, disability, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, or age. Familiarize yourself with Airbnb's policies and guidelines to ensure a smooth hosting experience. Understanding the legal implications of hosting on the Airbnb is not an option, but a requirement. We've journeyed through the vital legal considerations every host should note. It starts with understanding local laws and regulations. Different cities have different rules. Some require permits, some have restrictions. It's your responsibility as a host to be aware of these and comply. Next, we looked at lease or homeowner association rules. If you're renting a property, you need to ensure that subletting on Airbnb is allowed. Ignorance isn't bliss here. It's a potential lawsuit. Lastly, we explored Airbnb's own policies and guidelines. Airbnb provides a framework for what they expect from hosts, and being familiar with these is a must. In essence, the legal landscape of Airbnb hosting requires attention to detail. an understanding of your local environment, and a commitment to your responsibilities as a host. Always remember, a well-informed host is a successful host. Make sure you have all the legal aspects covered before you start your hosting journey on Airbnb.